That's good. That makes it better. Yeah, you said one of
Just one. Just the same. Just one each.
Okay, well it's 7:30 and I suppose we're going to get this underway. My name's Michael Brown and I hope is it alright? Is anybody hot? Yeah? Well,
Slightly warm.
warm? You don't mind if I take the jacket off here? That's good. You don't mind, ladies? I'll stop.
No, that's fine.
Stop with the jacket, okay? This is not clapping. Okay, so what I'll do is we'll just start this. Now, we had a chair. Any teachers in the room? Who's a teacher? Behind there. Can you give me a chair? Because I want to put the teacher in the room if he's a smart ass. Up the front, right there, so I can chuck the duster at him. Does it bring back memories? Yeah. Did you ever put shit like that on us as kids? Yes, you did. But I was never naughty. Well, I told my parents I was. Okay. Thank you very much for turning up. As I said, my name's Michael Brown. I've been doing this for a few years now. And it's all the stress that's turned me grey. It's nothing else other than that I spent a lot of money with those little head things over. Any hairdressers? You know how they put that rubber mat over your head and they pull all the hair out and they dye it grey? It cost a fortune. Okay, so what I'm basically here tonight to do is to talk about, and George has invited me along to actually speak about a few things. Number one is a lot of people invest. Now, a few things I want to say. Number one, I'm not a financial planner. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a financier. But what I am, I've been doing this now, I put strategies and things in place, but I know the phone numbers of all the people who are. And I've been doing this now for a number of years. And one thing that I have been doing was on my job originally was in acquisitions for a company called FKP. So I don't know if anybody's heard of them. What FKP was, my job was to go out and buy paddocks for them so that they could go and put developments together. So a lot of you people out here right now, when you're looking at investing, you've heard about and you know that you can invest in places. And when you buy an investment property, most of the good ones have already gone. And when you see it in the newspapers, you hear about all these brand new developments that go off and all of a sudden they launch them. But there's never the good ones left, is there? Ever. Why? Because by the time that you find out about them, we've already done 9 or 10 months of selling prior to the public. And we do that because the developers need the pre-sales to actually start the development. So you miss out in the sense that, yes, they are available, but all the good ones are normally gone. Then they sell about 25, 30%, and all of a sudden in the newspapers, 30% sold on a release. Heard of that? No, it's not. Could be a year earlier that they were sold. Who do you think finds out about them first? It is your planners, solicitors, accountants, anybody to do with the building industry has already found out about it before you do. So what we're doing here tonight is I'm going to take you through some options. That's all. Give you a bit of a plan and a structure for you to have a look at. But the most important thing is I would like to know before we start, this is a workshop. So the booklets there are for a reason. You write down some notes. They're your figures, not what I'm telling you. I'm just going to run some overall figures to you. If you've got any questions, can you leave them to the end? Because you'll find it all waffle on, or we're here for hours. Okay, so how many people in the room can afford $50? We're in huge trouble here. Come on. Who can afford $50? Who wants to win Gold Lotto on Saturday night? Does anybody want to win Gold Lotto?
Yeah.
You what? Have you got a ticket? How are you going to win it?
Because I know the probability is
Oh, that's good. So The idea of what we're saying with this, ladies and gentlemen, that the opportunities will come floating past. It's up to you whether you grab them or not. So we're going to work all these things out with $50. To start with, if you open up the book, is how much do you need? Okay, so there's a little bit of an equation there, so I'll make it a little bit easier for you. You'd fill these numbers out. And this is the average. Okay, this is the average. I've got to put the eyes on these days because I'm getting a bit blind. So here we go. The estimated retirement age, according to the government and statistics, is used to be 65 years of age. So at the top is 65. And the average age in the room here, I'll call it average. Should have said a bit less than this, but the average age, because there's a couple of old blokes in here, Adam, me, Seth, is 45. Fair enough? We all decided that we need at least another 20 years in retirement. If we want to, we're going to have to live 20 years. Then of course, the next one is you're going to have to live after you retire for at least another 20 years. Which means we're going to have a yearly income of around about $60,000 a year. Can we live on 60 grand a year, ladies and gentlemen? Who can live on 60? Be all right, wouldn't it? Yeah. Well, 80% of the people in this room are going to live on $16,000 a year or less. 80% of us. So get ready for it. Which means that you'll need around about $1.2 million to see you set in your retirement, based on 60 grand a year, if we retire and use this formula. However, let's assume we've all got 200,000 in super, haven't we? Thanks, Stuart. We've all got 200,000. Come on. What should I chop a zero off? Then we've got about $50,000 worth of cash, and we've got about 50 grand worth of investments. So when you add that all up, we've got about $300,000 that we can rely on. Take that away from the money you require, you're 900,000 short, which is roughly $45,000 a year, which is about $900 a week. Who thinks that $900 a week is achievable to save above your wages right now? Looking pretty grim. So what we need to do is look at some options. That's all. Just some options to see if we can sort of bridge that gap a little bit. Now, there's a funny thing. The other day I found a brochure in the letterbox, and it said, how to retire on $15,000 a year. It's pretty exciting. So I opened it up. It's just 3 words. Do nothing now. That's what it was. Do nothing now. Because that's exactly what the pension's going to be for a single person, about $15,000 to $16,000 a year. And 80% of the population of Australia will retire on the pension. So we did a survey, and 32 out of the 100 people surveyed from 16 to 65, 32 were dead, 32 were dead broke. Not quite sure which one's better. 16 had to work, 8 were all right, but only 2 were wealthy. So only 2% of the population were actually making it. So what I'm going to do is chuck you through some options now. So we all said we could afford $50 a week. Is that right? If we can't afford $50 a week, really, come on, we shouldn't be here, right? So let's take some options. So let's start drawing some pictures. Any mathematicians in the room? Yep, here we go then. Now we're going to do this over 10 years. There's a time to pay interest and a time to pay principal. But at the moment, we're going to give you a plan over 10 years. So we're going to go and save some money. And we're going to save today, for 10 years, we're going to save $50 a week. That equals $2,500 a year. Is that correct? Is that right? Yeah. Mathematician. Geez, when I went to school, it was 2,600, wasn't it? Yeah. Hey? Yeah, good. So, but what we have to understand, gentlemen, even though it is, we say 2,500, we have to allow at least $100 for our wives or partners to go and buy another pair of bloody black shoes. Ladies, how many pairs of black shoes you got?
One. About 5.
Yeah. Different shades of black, though, aren't they?
And I've got about 5 pink and about 5 green.
All different shades.
Silver, gold, you
Yeah,
know,
so in other words, you've got shoes, right? My
Yeah.
wife buys more shoes than you can poke a stick at. They all have to be black. So I'm allowing that I can buy her a pair of, depending on your shop, a black shoe or a pair of black shoes, okay, for the year. Right. Anyway, so if we can save this money, where's the most basic place that we can put money if we're going to save it? Under the pillow. Stick it under the mattress. I won't say mattress because I can't spell it, so I'll say cookie jar, okay? So we're going to save this over 10 years, $25,000 we would save. Over a 10-year period, we would only save $25,000 over a period of that time. Where else can we put it?
Bank.
Bank?
Investment saver account?
Yes, we'll put it in this. We'll put it in the bank. Let's stick it in the bank. This is a cookie jar. And we'll go and stick the money now in a bank. Now this is a really, really good one. There's no fees. Australia's leading bank, no fees. Okay? They're going to give us 5% interest on the money. Compounding over the same period of time, we'll end up with $33,000 at this really, really good bank. Where else can we put it?
Shares?
Shares. Problem is, I'm not licensed to talk about shares because you need to talk to a financial planner.
You can bet it. You were on a bet.
Yeah, betting might have bet on anything. You can bet on when the lights are going to go out at the moment. Gay Waterhouse would be a good place to start betting. But, yes, you can bet with shares, and I understand that, but I'm not licensed to talk about that, so I can't. But talk to your accountant, your financial planner, and they'll take you through that. However, you can put it in the share market. Where else do we put it?
Property.
Before that, it's compulsory.
Oh, super.
Yeah, we're going to put it in super.